I guess when you first got the role, you're kind of like, great, like I got a gig, I got a job. But
I
like,
didn't even, I never auditioned for Full House. I
oh,
had
okay,
done a guest appearance on another show that was by the same producers, and they had Full House in development at the time.
okay.
And so I never auditioned for the show, and I just kind of wound up doing it. I was barely 5. So for me, like, it wasn't really a lot of thought. It was just, I enjoy doing this right now. Like, this is the, I wasn't like, my career, or that, it was like, this
At
is fun. I love
5 year olds
performing.
5 year old walking into the room. All right, guys, this is where I see my career going. They're like, you're 5,
Right.
relax.
Right. So, it wasn't quite like that, but you know, I think as the show grew over the years and it became, where it was like, I like going to the mall, everybody would recognize me, things like that. That's when it was like, oh yeah, this is kind of a big deal. Because again, for me, I went to public school. I would go to school in the morning and then I'd go to work in the afternoon, just because where we lived and driving back and forth with traffic and everything. And I was really grateful for that, because it meant that I sort of got to have like a normal experience in some ways, of just a regular outside of LA Hollywood life of just a normal elementary school kid,
Yeah.
so that there was a balance to it as I went along. And but I don't think you ever really, I mean, even to this day, like, I'll go to another country, or I hear people who I have great respect for, people like that I really admire, who maybe aren't in entertainment, but are, either politicians or speakers or authors or whatever, and from all over the world. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I used, my sister and I watched your show in Saudi Arabia growing up, or
Wow.
in Japan, like, the show still airs on in cabs. We were in Japan, and the show pops on the little screens in the TV, in the taxi cabs. You just don't understand until you're like somewhere else in the world, or someone tells you that they emigrated to the US and watched Full House with their family, and that's how they learned English. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many instances of that, and it's really cool. And it's still to this day, like, I live a pretty normal life. I don't I My life is quiet, and I kind of like it that way, other than like what I do for a living. But
Yeah.
uh it's my life is normal, and I like it that way. And sometimes I forget, like, oh, that's right, like, other people know my who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just and it also has been my entire life. Like, I never really could remember a life outside of being in entertainment as a kid. So this has just always been what it's been.